Live, of course. So we were just talking about some things with uplink, behind the scenes information. So now we're live. So just putting that out there. It looks like we might have a special guest today. There's somebody else that's on the show right now. You don't even know it. But this is a community update, so why not put it out there? You should be on the camera. Say hello. And then
Maybe.
we're gonna go through uplink. We're gonna talk about that. Some stuff about NFTs, community growth, perhaps something with referrals or something, projects and uplink. I don't know. There's a lot to that. So before we get into the technicals, let's hit everybody with the disclaimer, and we'll be back in a bit.
Oh god, that's painful, dude.
All right, we're back. So, I love how now also with like everything that's kind of happening, political, whatever, we do also realize again the importance of these legal, or I wouldn't say legal because I'm not an attorney, but at least the disclaimers, right? Not financial advice. So now we start having that. Everybody at the team's always like, until that part's done. I like it though. That's good.
That's the important part. Come on.
Exactly.
There
So
we
yes,
go.
we do have somebody, but I also didn't want to put them on a spot because if they don't want to be on camera, they don't have to be on camera. So that's that.
I think he would love to be on camera.
Yeah, let's.
Are you kidding? Knowing this person,
I hear somebody in the
wants to
back.
be on
Are you
camera.
kidding me?
Look who we have there.
All right. So for those that aren't aware, so this is Spencer from AI, so from the community. So Spencer, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Hey, it's going all right. How are you?
Very good.
I mean, this
So-
is not the best look, but I'm trying.
We
It's a
need your
great
friend.
look.
So this
Well,
is
I literally got off the plane
It's a
today,
great
yesterday, right?
So what's going on?
Oh, you had gotten off the plane. I think it was yesterday, today. So you're okay for today's show. We didn't expect you to be in suit and tie. That's it.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be here today or yesterday until I looked at my itinerary again. I thought I was going to be here today, so I'm glad to be here though and hang out with Will and his family, see all you guys. But I'm gonna let you guys get to business. I feel like that's
That's it. I like this guy. Right to business right away.
We're businessmen.
I even took off his shackles so he could talk today.
That's it.
So nice of you.
Nice.
He is
All right.
unfettered.
So, where do you guys want to start? Do you want to give updates with Uplink first? You want to talk about the projects that are being added onto that, or which part do you want to go on to?
Did we just lose Eric?
Yeah.
I think we just lost
I
Eric.
think
Yeah.
Eric did lead with that, but I don't know where he went.
Okay, that's good. Again, that's the positives of going live. I love it.
That's right.
Well, I guess
Let's start
while
with
we're
a
waiting
song
for
and dance
him,
piece.
I heard a lot of people's messages about Fate not trading recently,
Mhm.
and I did discover a bug that's causing it to not trade. That should be fixed as of this morning. I'm seeing trades come in now and process and close. A few of them were over 15% gains, actually, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
to see.
That's always nice to see.
Be working now.
All right. Eric just pieced out, but I'm a little aware of it. So in terms of uplink, you guys are starting to list projects, right? So we had talked about last
Indeed.
week, or actually at the beginning of this week, one of them is FCF, so French Connection Finance.
hmm
Has that been officially added yet, or is that still in the works?
That's in final stages. So we have pretty much everything ready from the tech side and the design side. And we're going through, they're adding their liquidity pool now. We have the card processing stuff set up. It's coming like, man, probably within,
Fast.
it's real fast. So yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
there
we'll
I'll
be
are-
let
making
them do the actual announcement to turn it on. But, from
Yeah.
the integration point, it's about done. So.
okay. Now
Yeah,
there
there's-
are other
there's-
projects as well, though, right? So like it's
But
just
we have
kind
a
of
whole
start.
pipeline, and it's awesome.
Okay. Eric, you literally like pieced out on us right at like the part we're talking
Computer
about.
just crashed. I don't know what to say. Like it was just, during game time. I mean, it's
We're
crazy.
trying to get
Actually, no, I have to admit what's really going on here is that Spencer and I are actually the same person. It's like Superman and Clark Kent. And so, the gig is up. You guys busted us.
Gig is up.
It can't be on the camera at the same time.
That's right.
It's near
I'm actually
not,
just using my phone to mimic Spencer's voice in Will's room.
Eric is actually in the next room. He actually doesn't have his own house. He just lives in my house.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. So watch. I'm going to go off screen and watch alternate me come on screen.
Whoa!
And then right back.
Oh,
See?
amazing.
Told
Pretty
you.
impressive.
Futures.
It's all dad jokes today.
That's what I'm waiting to see that. I'm waiting for those community members to just start coming in saying for you guys to stop with that.
You guys are cheese balls. I can't believe it. You guys know this crypto market? Jeez. Well, if you can do it, anybody can do it.
Fun?
Yeah.
How
That's why we
dare
build
you.
software.
No fun for you.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, let's talk about Uplink. So projects being added to that because people are curious to know what that process is like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Projects that are perhaps in the pipeline getting ready to be added. We just talked about French Finance Connection, that it's almost already there, right?
Yep, absolutely. So we're making progress with the team. We are definitely going to be set here. For those of you, anybody out there who is joining the Dubai Crypto Expo, you'll be able to meet the team and you'll be able to buy FCF right on Uplink. So we're super excited about that. We're working hard with the team to make sure that everything is up and running as quickly as possible. In addition to French Connection, which is the one project on Uplink other than Flourishing AI that we have announced, there are more coming. So we're going to make more announcements over the next couple of days, but more have signed up and more are continuing to sign up. So we feel like we really hit lightning in a bottle here. And the needs are, we think, pretty obvious, right? It boosts token price. It gives folks an easy way to convert fiat right into the project's native token or the native chain, right? So think about how difficult it is to get on BNB chain. For newbies, it's almost impossible, right? Now with Uplink, it's actually very straightforward. It's basically just any other e-commerce or Amazon-like transaction. Super simple, and that was the point.
Well, I also noticed you guys had a poll within the community group. So I'm seeing Uplink added AI. It's about to add FCF. What is the next coin we should list? So I see some interesting options here. So we got Ethereum, Avalanche, Matic, Link, Sand, Cake, Shiba Pooter. Other community responses. So we've got
6% voted for Elon Shiba Pooter, which is a completely made up token. Well done, guys.
But what I'm seeing is that this could perhaps, again, it's not just Binance Smart Chain, this could eventually lead into other blockchains, which is also interesting.
Yeah.
It does get interesting, doesn't it?
So let me ask, were you guys surprised that AVAX and Matic are kind of neck and neck on that one? Leading the pack?
Yeah, 37-36.
I mean, let's call it a relative tie, right? So interesting, isn't it? And I've had a lot of private conversations with members of the community who just pinged me and said, hey, what about this coin or that coin, And everybody seems to be very, very hot on Polygon and Avalanche in particular. So the other one that we didn't include in the poll is stable coins. Can you get into stable coins, especially now in a bear market? That's a good one, right? And one we can turn on very easily.
Yeah, so BSC, you could do that right away.
Like right away. Right,
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. What's your take, though, on Avalanche versus Matic? I mean, just looking at the charts, even when it comes down to large cap projects, they're also kind of neck and neck in that retrospect. So I know it's opinion based, but is one really better than the other? I mean, I think it comes down to the community effort and seeing who would want to then use Uplink, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well,
more engaged as to having their token added to Uplink, right? You want to see those responses.
And also think about like how many younger projects or earlier stage projects are coming up on those different chains, right? So then you get a feeder system, if you will, for what we're trying to do, which is really give early stage projects the ability to go straight from fiat into their native token. And that's where, honestly, we're seeing the biggest traction, right? The projects that are reaching out and projects that we're engaged with are super excited about the ability to give their users that easy on-ramp, quick hit, straight from, fiat of your choice, current, whether you're using credit card, debit card, you name it, right? And jumping into their native token one fell swoop rather than having to go through all the, histrionics we've all been dealing with on our own in getting into various projects. So,
Right.
that's where you see the real excitement and engagement. So again, think that, sort of anybody who's out there sort of prognosticating, trying to figure out what our next moves will be, look at where the projects are, look at where the attention is, look at where the buzz is happening, and look at that, that feeder system, if you will, right? That's where the magic lies for us.
You guys know us well enough to know by now that we're all about A, dad jokes, and B, data, right? So let's focus on the second one.
Very important thing.
Yeah, exactly. And Sheraton's amazing facial hair. I forgot that. So look,
Yeah.
here's the thing, right? So we guide our decision making based on, as I said, data, right? So let's look at total value locked. For those of you on the Beyond FOMO chat, I've gone ahead and posted a link. So if you look at the total value locked by chain, Ethereum has something like 55% of the total value locked in the crypto ecosystem. Second to that is Terra. Third is BSC. Fourth is Avalanche, right? And then if you look at Polygon, they go down the list to 8th place. So strictly by TVL, probably AVAX is the better play, right? In terms of just adoption there. But then the question becomes, are the applications on on Avalanche versus Polygon? Where is the developer application sort of mind share going? Well, if you take a look at the changes over time in TVL, you look at Terra, for example, is booming, Avalanche is booming, and all the others are kind of going up and down, right? But if you look at the two that sort of rise to the top, really it's Terra and Avalanche. So to me, Avalanche is in 4th place in terms of TVL, right behind BSC, and its adoption is growing really fast. So that's a very strong case for AVAX, if you ask me. What do you guys think?
I wouldn't argue it.
Yeah.
My thing also just goes back to, if you want to just talk about market cap, Bitcoin's winning all day, every day. That's just the king or queen, however you want to pronounce it. But if you guys go ahead and add Bitcoin to Uplink, the marketing efforts of contacting people at Bitcoin to then promote Uplink, you're putting way too much efforts to get a result from that.
Exactly.
But at these low to mid cap projects that have communities that are rallying to constantly push them, those are the people that are going to be using Uplink more so than the larger cap project.
Correct.
So we could talk about TVL,
Correct.
all this kind of stuff, but if the community is not there to support it and the ease or adoption of that through fiat to their project, that's basically what you guys want. You want users.
Well,
Right.
and also, since you brought it up, right? If we go to direct to BTC, everybody does that, right? Everybody provides that same on-ramp. So there's no differentiation there, right? So if we're trying to position ourselves in the market as a unique offering and a value add to different projects, having Bitcoin be, sort of a major focus for us really doesn't do us any good, right? We're not trying to compete with the major centralized exchanges, with a Coinbase or anybody like that. That's not what we're after, right? We're looking at really, sort of targeted implementations that give us that unique value add that drives user adoption and drives attention for the projects that we're working with and benefits the communities overall. And you bring those things together and you get magic. You don't, you go chasing bigger projects. That's a losing proposition because
One thing I want to point out. So I love usernames in the space, but Spion Valley. So in his comment about the exchange, right? So when is AI going to get onto another exchange? When you think about it, Uplink is the source. That's what it is. So when you guys talk about other exchanges, that's honestly, and from my years of experience just being in a space, it's marketing. That's all that getting on another exchange is going to be, just marketing.
Right.
That's it. And unfortunately, again, there's things that happen behind the scenes with certain exchanges where you guys think it's going to get you results, but it's really not. Again, it's just a marketing play that's short term. It's not long term. Long term is actually Uplink because it's actually, again, direct credit card, debit card, right into the freaking project. I mean, that's
you need to
Beautifully put.
reframe the way you're thinking. Like people list on an exchange in order to get access to the users on that exchange under the promise that that exchange will somehow also promote them among all their other tokens that they already have listed, right?
Right.
Well, and that they're launching on a daily basis.
Cost efficient. Yeah, go ahead, Stefan.
Well, no, I was just chiming in for you that, it's not only, are you trying to get through the noise of all the tokens that are already on their exchanges? You're also trying to get through all the noise of the tokens that they're launching every single day, right? Big exchanges are launching multiple tokens per day. So there's not going to be a huge sort of attention grabber no matter what we do when you're marketing directly through an exchange, right? Because those users of that exchange are getting messages constantly about new tokens coming in. And they're not deep messages. They're just, hey, here it is. It's listed. Woohoo, go have at it. It's not, an introduction to the project. It's not an overview of the project. It's not why the project's being listed and what value the project brings to the community or to the to the markets. It's really just, we've got a new token, come get it, right? And that doesn't go very far at all.
Yeah, I mean, we could honestly have a whole show literally on dealing with centralized exchanges, and I think maybe that's actually a good idea. But like, I'll be blunt, honest throughout the entire thing, and you'd be surprised, honestly, what really happens with this stuff. So that's all I have to say about that. And we could keep talking about it. It's not as positive as you guys really think that it is. That's all I have to say. That's it.
We'll leave it there. There's a whole lot of conversation behind that we probably shouldn't get into for a myriad of reasons, right?
But on that topic,
we've learned a few things.
So on that topic, what would be interesting is an interesting question. Do you guys consider Uplink to be an exchange? Do you actually consider that to be a DEX or no?
No.
I think to be a real exchange, you need an on-ramp and an off-ramp.
Okay.
Right. So you need the other half of it.
Because I was just thinking, I have CoinGecko, it's open, right? So, you could find a project, you could then look at the exchanges that's available on. I don't know, it'd be cool to then see that you can just go to Uplink as an option.
Yeah.
There
is a category that this does fall into, though, which is called an MSB, money service business. And so we have filed the appropriate registrations around FinCEN and things like that around becoming a money service business because you're exchanging a currency for another currency.
Okay. Well, that's pretty big news, guys.
And we're going to put that on the website too, that we're FinCEN registered and all this as well. We're just waiting to get that registration number back. And this also is gating things like Google Ads and various other social media advertising that, due to the nature of Uplink's business.
Man, Will, are you talking about running a real business here? Is that what you're saying?
What the hell?
You actually have this kind of stuff to
this is crypto, dude. We don't do real businesses here. Come on.
Okay. All right. We kind of went a little off tangent there, but I just want to bring it back to Uplink. So you guys have projects that are in the pipeline, they're being added to it, and we're kind of also looking back to the community right now, and I could see a lot of members actually typing within a chat, talking about AVAX, and they might be thinking about other communities that they would like to see on Uplink, right? So I'm kind of doing a transition here because you guys might also be doing some type of a referral or an affiliate program as well. So now we have another layer and incentive on top of that for community members to now perhaps do a rev share of new projects getting onto Uplink and perhaps other things.
So we haven't really talked about that a whole lot publicly, but we've been working behind the scenes community to implement a referral program into Flourishing AI in particular, right? And then we'll sort of expand that to Uplink as well. Going to sort of start in one and then quickly expand to the other. Here's the point of this, right? All of our marketing efforts that we are starting to push out, they're fantastic. but we have, a flourishing family, if you will, of people who are, in the system trading. You've got AI tokens, all of those sorts of things. Really exciting stuff. So we've got this, big army, this flourishing family, if you will. I don't want to call it an army. Flourishing family, if you will, of people that can go out and say, hey, you need to get into crypto nice and easy, uplink. Do you need some guidance? Do you need an educational component? Do you need to kind of grow into crypto if you're a new user? So that's the direction Flourishing AI is about to take as well. So we've been talking uplink, and that's been taking up a lot of the oxygen in the room. And it's pretty exciting stuff. The other side of it is that we're going to start to add more of an educational component to Flourishing AI. And what that means also is that you are part of, our extended team, if you will, right? All of you, every single one of you. So we'll get all the details out as far as a referral program, but we're super excited to give you an opportunity to share in our success.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds weird to even put that out there, but it's community efforts. I mean, you guys and anybody can only do so much. It's really incumbent upon the community to really start pushing the project and getting people to see uplink. But I can play devil's advocate with that by saying now there will be an incentive. So now you can actually earn by doing that. So then now it's like a double hit. Why wouldn't you be doing that?
Yeah, we want to convert people that are believers in our project and help them get compensated for being with us through all the hard times we've been through and all the good times and stuff and sticking with us. Right. So this is why we're putting referrals and affiliate programs together.
Okay. Yeah.
It really is about, marketing is, we've talked about it multitudes of ways, right? Marketing that we're focused on, and I even made a comment in the community chat just the other day about it, right? The articles are not designed to pump the token. I mean, again, guys, this is not us shilling the token. This is us building awareness and attention for the project as a whole. And then second to that, right, the articles are happening on one side. The other stuff that we're doing is designed to start driving traffic, real traffic to Uplink, and attention to the partners that we're bringing on board for Uplink and ultimately for Fate, right? It all feeds into Fate. These are all people that come through, use Uplink, and then become part of the Flourishing extended family. And that gives us the ability to, bring new users in, give them that education, give them the opportunity to discover Fate and learn what they're doing. But when it comes down to it, all of that, and, look at, the biggest projects, right? Or even the meme coins, like use the meme coins as an example, right? What makes those move? It's not marketing. No, it's community jumping behind something and then piling in on it.
There's so much to that bullshit.
Well, exactly.
And we're starting to sugarcoat a lot of this stuff. A lot of the things that you see in the crypto world, it's a lot of just bullshit. So that's all I have to say.
It is. It really is. I mean, Elon wants to make a little money today. He's going to tweet out something about Dogecoin or the token of choice for him for the day. And then he pumps it and he takes a nice little chunk off the table and everybody else is left guessing and running behind. Right. So that's the nature. But that's the game.
One thing that I would definitely like to point out, though, for those that are just, so we're just talking about so if you guys want to call it the Flourishing AI family, I think we should change that to make it more a little bit stronger. Maybe it'll give it a cool name. You got the chain.
Well, I don't know.
What is it the XRP Army, whatever it is. We'll designate something cool to that. But one thing I definitely want to point out,
Will's Italian, so family can be kind of scary to the right people, right? So I'm just saying.
Flourishing Mafia. How about that?
There we go.
Let's go with his metaphor. Let's call it Will Team 6.
Oh boy!
But one thing that I want to
point out.
Wow. You guys might not get that license after that name. No, but seriously, one thing that I want to point out, because I do constantly see within both communities, my community, your community, there's always the same question when marketing, and we've made videos of that in the past. So there's stuff that's happening behind the scenes to get this stuff done. And one thing that I kind of actually want to highlight, and this is actually a very weird situation that you guys are in. This is weird, and it's backwards. and I probably have said it multiple times, but just based on my experience in this crypto space, 99.9% of these projects that are out there, including these meme tokens, they don't have anything. They don't. It's
Right.
just, it's like a shell. It's an empty shell. So what they do is it just starts out with marketing, and then people start joining a group. They start getting excited, and then the moment that those projects actually tend to go live, what happens? It goes down. It dumps because they don't have anything available to provide to that community. Now AI, it's odd to say, but it's like the complete opposite. You guys developed everything. You have these platforms. You have an excellent portfolio manager. Like, it's freaking amazing. It's actually like, it's all the data and input that any professional trader will want to have as a tool set in their pocket. Like right now, if you're a professional trader and if you don't know about Fate, there's something wrong there. There is. But you guys then have that, and then you have Uplink, which again is fiat to crypto. And that solves one of the most largest problems in crypto, is just attaining it. Simple as that. But you guys did all this stuff without the actual start of marketing. So
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean,
birth. It's weird.
Think about Uplink as a product of its own, right? Like if all we did, right, was come out as a project and launch Uplink, that by itself is an incredibly powerful and valuable project.
If you just have Uplink, you've done more than 99.9% of the projects out there. Done. End of conversation.
True.
Arguing, there's nothing.
That
That's
alone.
Like a fact.
Now, here's the difference, though, right? Is we've built Uplink, it's live. People are actually able to go and engage with it right now. But a project coming out, and to your point, the typical process for it, or sort of method of operations, right, would be that they come out, they release a token, they pump the hell out of it, and then they turn around and try and build it, right? This is one of the things that, I always look at when you're talking about, NFT gaming or a game-focused project, right? They're raising their funds now, but to build a game is a 2 to 3 year process to build a decent game, right? And if they're coming out and raising their funds now and hoping to make it 2 to 3 years based on what they've raised today, that's a tall order, and that's frankly a recipe for disaster, right? So you really got to be aware of the projects that you're going to and that you're getting behind. Don't fall into the FOMO. Get beyond FOMO. How's that, Jason? Just say that in for you there.
That's a good point. Yeah, but
get beyond the FOMO. Come on.
They have that hype, and the hype is in fact the marketing, because nobody has the end product or anything in front of their face. So they're using their imagination. What could this be? What could this become? So at the moment it becomes live and there's nothing there, people are like, oh shit.
Yeah, because they imagined it much more in their mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Scary stuff. I've seen it
that is the premise of hype.
So you guys are literally at the point where it's like, and it's not necessarily marketing, but it's like getting ready to pull that trigger, and then onboard. That's it. Everything else is there. You guys are set.
Yeah, we have a B2B and a B2C business. Cash business as well as an investment management business. Like, it's
incredibly
so many
bullish.
different revenue models, so many different plays.
Yeah. All right. Last topic, because I am checking out the time. NFTs. You guys want to go there, or do you want to just put something out there? What do you want to do?
Well, there's two things that really kind of came up in sort of the collective consciousness in crypto this week. Wow, collective consciousness sounds so horrible.
Do you want to also talk about the I don't want to get political on this, but I do find it hilarious. And I don't know all the facts, so if you guys know, add onto it, or flows in the group. So Ukraine did this thing where they were raising money, and then that stopped, and then they decided, oh, we're going to do an NFT.
Yep.
So it's like, I don't know the whole thing about that.
Yeah, that was
The moment
interesting.
you see a country or any type of a politician saying that they're raising funds for something, I don't participate in that. That's just my opinion, not financial advice, but there's something weird with that.
So a couple of things. Yeah, a couple of things. Number one, a lot of copycat sites. So if you want to do this, and I'm not saying that you should, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but if you choose to do that, go do your research and make sure that you're sending it to the right people, because there are a lot of scams right now trying to raise money for you.
A lot of nonprofit scams right now.
It's totally it's completely trust based. That's the point, right? So if you give in the non-crypto space, you can do so on an official website and all that sort of stuff. Everything has happened so quickly that right now, whoever you're giving your crypto to, you have to kind of trust them, right? So just make sure that you know where you're sending your crypto, as always. So that's number one. Number two, there have been a couple of sort of government related type, news articles, right, out there, right? So there's Ukraine pushing out potentially an NFT. That's kind of interesting in and of itself. But what about the town in Switzerland, right? So this is not a small country. I mean, it is geographically, but it's a country that has some weight to it in the financial markets, obviously, right? A town in Switzerland actually made Bitcoin and I think Tether legal tender. So go ahead and Google it if you guys haven't seen this.
Legal.
Incredibly bullish. Incredibly bullish.
Yesterday or Tuesday? I think.
Yeah, like 2 days ago, I think it was. Yesterday, day before, something like that. I mean,
we all know this. I'm
there.
super bullish on it. Fate's even bullish on it. Like it's.
You want to know the funniest thing too? Before the Ukraine NFT thing, before the Swiss thing, I think it was on Monday that SEC report came out and that they're now investigating NFTs.
Yeah,
it's not like those that are doing like fractionalizing and raising funds and all that kind of stuff. So like that,
they
call
that
was
the fractionalization of it.
Well, the problem is that once you have sort of big names behind NFTs, and then you have rug pulls and all that sort of stuff, and it's happened a few times already over the past 2 or 3 weeks alone. I mean, models, actors, musicians, all that.
No, but it
was bound to happen.
For me, it's the timeline. Literally, OpenSea had their vulnerability, so that dealt with the NFTs. But then you have the SEC saying that they're going to do their investigation into NFTs. But then you have a country saying that they're going to do NFTs. It's like one of those things. But like you can't do it, but then those guys can do it.
And wouldn't it be messed up if that whole Ukrainian NFT thing was really just a disinformation campaign from another nearby country of unspecified origin, right? And basically they're just siphoning funds. I mean, you don't know. Like it really is.
It's going to throw a wrench into the SEC too, because if that's true, and then you donate money to the Ukraine through an NFT, and that becomes like a qualified donation to a charity, but then it becomes taxed as a security at the same time. That's going to be a total mess.
Oh yeah.
Right.
One thing, so Eric, we don't have to get into the whole story of it, but one thing you did mention, again, this is just dealing with crypto in general. People sending crypto and trying to be like scammers. You know what I'm talking about, or no?
No.
All right. So basically, if somebody's saying that they have a token, right, or somebody's, if you're trying to buy a product or a service, we'll leave it at that. If you're trying to buy a product or a service and you're accepting crypto, you want to confirm 1,000% that crypto will actually landed in your wallet,
right,
before then giving them the service or the product. There's a lot of people out there that do weird stuff with Block Explorer per se, where they can increase or decrease like the gas. So it takes like a long freaking time, and it looks like it's being sent to your wallet when it doesn't actually get there.
It's not.
It'll fail. Yeah. So there's a lot of weird scams out there around the crypto space, and again, like with charities, people like to prey on those types of things. Always just do your own due diligence. If you're accepting crypto, make sure it lands in your wallet. I mean, this is like the hugest benefit of crypto in general.
It's actually confirmed and on the blockchain, finalized.
Right. That's the key. So we're seeing a rise in incidents of scammers basically going out there. They initiate a transaction. Here's how the scam works. Then they get you to send them crypto back in some kind of an exchange, and then they can sort of pull the original transaction if it hasn't confirmed. So my point being is, if you're going to exchange your crypto with someone else on the internet, and again, we're seeing a meteoric rise in these kinds of scams, just make sure it's confirmed first. Don't do anything until you understand that, yes, your transaction's confirmed, it's in your wallet, and now you can send it back. Protect yourself.
So one thing that I also want to bring up, and out of curiosity, so this is for all you guys. So I had an interview. This is with a huge a watch dealer. So we're talking about watches, right? Timepieces. So we're talking about like the big ones, like the Pateks, all those, the big ones. And he actually had a client, right, that did a direct bank wire to their bank account. So I'm not going to name the bank. So whatever, they did a bank wire, and the money was there. And then the guy that ordered the watch didn't physically go to the location. He had somebody else go there for him, right? And then the dealer, they gave the guy the watch. So that was like a $200,000 watch because the bank wire was there. I think it was like a day or so, or immediately right after he handed the watch over, an hour later, that bank wire was returned. Did you guys know that banks could actually reverse bank wires?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they can.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's scary stuff. That's like the guy's like, what? And that bank did not send a text message, did not give them a call, did not send them an email. He actually just logged into the bank account and saw like one of those like dashboard alerts, and he had to call them to be like, where's my money? But the bank itself actually reversed a bank wire. I didn't think that was possible.
So I found out about this about 10 years ago because a then employer actually double deposited our paychecks and then just pulled it right out. And we were all just kind of stunned at how easily that can happen. So the bottom line here is the banking system is based on trust. Crypto is based on a distributed ledger.
Isn't that crazy?
Right.
$200,000, and I have the interview
Nuts.
for that. That's going to be most likely next week. But they gave the watch to the guy, so it was like the pawn because the other guy's not going to go on surveillance camera, all that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But it's just weird. It's a bank wire. I always thought that once you send that, even like ACH, that it's there. But I didn't know that those could be reversed like a chargeback.
Yeah,
that's why these guys are now
there's
getting
the idea
to
of a
encrypting
clearing
them.
period. Like
So-
if you sweep funds from a brokerage, like let's say you make a whole bunch of day trades, and then you have a certain amount of buying power on your brokerage, like in this is on the equity side, right? Typically that buying power is lagged behind the amount of cash that you technically have currently. And it's because of this clearing period where they have to wait like I think 3 days after trades settle to make sure that it's actually correct. And similar with wire transfers, like you can get a wire transfer and then it can be reversed up to a certain number of days after the fact. But like I think 3 days, I think is also the rule for wires, where it's like if it's still there after like 3 days, you're good.
Really? Yeah.
Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I've
That's
heard
my
that.
understanding of it.
That's
After I
right.
heard of that, that again just made me also just more again like a believer in like the whole ledger system. You know, once it's there, it's there. There are no chargebacks, there's no take backs, none of that. So
And this can happen on a blockchain, right? There's this idea of a nonce. So you submit a transaction to send somebody crypto, receive crypto, whatever it is, right?
like the waiting
And you
list.
have to put this nonce with it, which is like a unique identifier. If that then goes into a thing called a mempool, but we're talking about the scale of like minutes instead of days, right? So there's like an order of magnitude of difference, like 2 orders of magnitude and time scale.
Mm-hmm.
You can submit a different transaction of the same nonce, which will overwrite the other one and then change what that's going to do before it actually posts into the blockchain.
I know people do that to cancel an existing,
This is how you would cancel something in MetaMask, right? Things like that.
Exactly.
but so I didn't know that though. So you could actually, so a nonce in general, from my understanding, it's also like a waiting list, right? So you can actually go to Block Explorer, and if you have a high number, that is all those people before you. So if you're on ETH and you see your number like 400, you're going to be there for like hours.
Yeah.
But what you're telling me, I didn't know this. So you could actually then change the function of that smart contract and not just cancel it out. So you can actually update or change it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This happens.
Yeah, that's even scarier shit.
Yeah. Or another tactic, and this relates to the sniper bots and stuff like that, that we talk about like a while back, is that they will see a transaction, they'll then submit another transaction and pay more gas to overwrite the other one, assuming that this will get mined first, and then the other one will be forced to happen after, right? Even though on the timeline of events it happened before. Miners will try to always maximize profit, so they're going to look for the ones that paid the most gas.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
They're going to put those people first. Yeah. Okay. We went a little off tangent on the NFT thing, but I think that's
okay.
some good stuff.
That's what we think about NFTs.
It's interesting.
Well,
It's all
I guess
good.
the same thing could apply to the NFT. I mean, make sure you receive your NFT before sending somebody money. Or if you're minting it, obviously you would want to have the NFT, right? Same process goes. Yeah, why don't we actually, instead of having you guys come up with the whole community name. Let's put that to like a vote. Have the community come up with the name.
Mhm.
We already saw Flourishing AI team, right?
I like that, Misha.
Team.
Let's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
brainstorm some ideas together. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
Have the
exactly.
community come up
So,
with
As
okay.
long as it's not Bodie McBoatface, I'm fine with it. So.
All right. So if we are the A team, who's who on the show? Let's do it.
Well, you got to put it
Let's
to
end
the
this on a
vote.
fun
You
note.
gotta let the other people give their input on that. Let them
All right. Let's
come
start a
together for
poll.
a name.
Let's start a
And then
poll.
we have to
I think
live with whatever
Chainlink-
the decision is.
I think
Yes,
Chainlink
that's
is
it.
Chain Marines, XRP Army, Bitcoin like evangelists or something.
I like Mafia personally. I think it just fits. But I mean, Will's got the slick back hair. He looks serious, man. Come on.
I just don't know how that's going to work with like compliance and stuff. It's like you want to use uplink by like the Flourishing AI Mafia. It's like I don't
It's
know.
a family. It's just
Yeah.
It's a family. We're family.
That's what it is.
Just
I
like
gotta go
that.
take care of
Vincent,
the horse in the
please
backyard.
register us. We're the mafia.
Yeah.
We show up at our customers' homes and say, "May your first child be a masculine child," with an envelope full of cash. That's
Can
how
we
we roll
trademark
around
the
Crypto
word
Mafia.
mafia? Is that possible?
And then just,
I think let's go with Crypto Mafia. I mean, that to me is
here.
that's pretty sharp.
we're gonna have our grape juice every morning. It's grape juice. It's not alcohol. All right, guys. Yeah, we're a little bit over that time. I do suggest again, it's all about the community. Maybe make a poll that puts into the group. What would you guys like to be called? Is it the A team, the Mafia? If you guys want to put it there, I would stay away from that one. My opinion. Army,
I wonder
whatever
why.
it is, that's gonna, I think, help also bring people together. So.
We'll put that in a poll
by
in
the
the
way, so
community.
Eric, you know
Let's
this
do it.
too. And why not give them? So French Connection Finance, I will say this over and over again, and I know you guys will agree to this.
Yep.
Their community is like, they're on fire. I mean, literally, like those guys are intense. They
They're
have their marketing techniques, and I'm sure we're working on the same foundation of that. Put it that way. Like they got
That's
stuff
fair
on
bet.
point. They got it down. Yeah.
I'm
So,
excited
maybe
about
see that
the partnership that's evolving with that. I think I'm
Very
super
much so.
about it, honestly.
And by the way, we haven't brought them on this show, but as I understand it, you had an episode earlier of Beyond FOMO where one of our other projects, Jumping on Uplink, actually talked about it, right, Jason? So can
Yeah.
you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
For those who didn't catch that episode, which is it's a good one, I would suggest it.
Well, we could end it on that note because it's an interesting project. So it's Starship, and the collaboration with that is actually really kind of big.
It's really
But-
cool. Yeah.
I'll explain why actually. So let me pull this up. Why this is going to be big for AI and Starship themselves. So let me just pull this up. I get to do a screen share for once while we end it.
All right.
I like this. Feels good. All right, so we'll give Matthew, the whole Starship team, a shout out with this. So Starship, they are going to be using Uplink, and Starship, we've talked about this multiple times with, Cannonball, we just talked about it, even today's show. When it comes down to play to earn games, NFTs, blockchain technology, it takes years to develop this kind of stuff. And
Right.
we have to give these guys credit because they did it. It's live, it's working. They actually have the NFT component, they have their native token involved, everything is there. But what's missing is the ability to actually get Starship tokens. Because
Right.
just like you guys, they are on BSC, their Binance Smart Chain token, and it is difficult to get Starship. And Matthew, the CEO, and the rest of the team have said that multiple times. Their system is also integrated with Wax token. So what I'm getting at is they have their game, which is here, but having the ability to then stay within their game for their gamers to then buy their token, to then buy Wax tokens, that is going to be very big. That's going to be huge.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm excited to see. Because otherwise, just like any gamer,
Aren't
you
we
don't
all?
want people to leave your ecosystem to then do something else. Because they might not come
Yeah.
back. But if you
You
keep
create a
everyone
great
in,
experience right from the get-go. That's the
that's what
point.
it's about.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
we talk about funnels all the time, not only in games, but in the payment industry. Like, Eric, you know this. I mean, everybody from the game industry and payment industry knows about this. Every step of the way that people have to go through greatly reduces the conversion and likelihood somebody's going to make it through that funnel. You want to get them like right on your site, going straight into your system, and then keep them there. Right? If you bring them off to like another website or a third party, or they're making this whole round trip to go back to you, like you lost so many people in that process.
That's why we made Uplink as easy as we did, right? Or we strove to make it as easy as we did. We didn't want people to have to jump through multiple hoops on multiple sites. Wanted to give them one place to do it, make it fast, make it easy, make it clean and simple. And, I like to say we've achieved that.
Yeah, but it's not just that. So I know Uplink is just on here, but again, I would like to see the actual widget. So the embedding of that into their actual game, because right here, I mean, it's all right here, guys. It's all in front of your face. So the moment people from Starship, the game, which is growing fast, they're doing a lot of big things. So the moment that their members either go to this site to then get their tokens, or then just use it as like the embedded form, that is a form of marketing. That is actual adoption. That is the onboarding of possible new members into the crypto space, existing members. And at the same time, guess what they also find out about? Everything else. That's it.
That's right.
That's right.
That, in fact, is marketing. That is expansion, networking. I mean, how could you
all
not
in a nutshell?
Bullish, right? It's in your face.
Exactly right.
This is a strong indication right here.
I don't want to go too far into it, but it's a classic play, to be honest, right? Going B2C is an incredibly expensive and time-consuming way to market. If you can go B2B, where you're tapping into existing communities and get them to use your tools and get them to pump your tools for you, suddenly your job, my job, frankly, becomes a lot more straightforward, right? And it makes it a lot easier for us to focus on the points that really matter and to make our marketing really as targeted as we can for the bigger picture items that we're trying to push. So it all fits together just beautifully, right? And to your point, Jason, that taking that widget, right? Why do you think we designed Uplink the way we did? That white transaction window, that's the heart of Uplink. The other stuff that we put around it, the cards, the pretty, that's just design. That piece, that transaction window, we can pick up and we can put anywhere we want. That's the point, right? And that can get delivered to every project that has any interest at all in getting directly into their token from fiat.
And what we just talked about was one example. So just replicate.
One example.
Grow. It's going to be good. I like that. All right, let's end it on that note. That's a positive note. So FCF, Starship, and many more will be added soon. Everything's in the pipeline. So I'm excited for the next big steps here. For those that have questions, head into the Flourishing AI Telegram group. The link is in the description below. But as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. Check out Beyond FOMO. We've got some very big FOMO stuff happening very, very soon. I got to get to work on all this stuff. So much work. It never stops.
Hint.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining. I'll be in Telegram.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, team. See ya.